Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream on Twitch weekdays from 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, 10 AM in Australia and 1 AM in the UK. Hope you guys are well and you had a good weekend. We are working on an Art Deco building in the Unreal Engine 4.16.3. We're creating a cinematic. So we're going to be doing a fly through of an environment inside of the Art Deco building and then back out again. This is the Art Deco building in Max that we've brought into Unreal. I'll just quickly again play the still shots of the environment in a video simply because OBS really does not like real time in the Unreal Engine. And while that's playing through, I'll grab a quick drink. So these are still shots of the environment. The environment will actually be fully animated and moving in the wind. It's not in these images here. These are just stills. Remember guys, if you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat. Hey Canu, good to see you. Please feel free to pop into chat and say hello, or if you just want to watch, that's completely fine. How was your weekend, Canu? We're just looking at some stills of the environment before we start working on the interior again. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We'll be ready to set our cameras up pretty soon. I actually managed to watch a couple of movies this weekend. My workload slowed down a little bit and I managed to actually, watch a couple of movies, which was good. I just need another quick drink, guys. Okay, let's stop that video and let's jump into Unreal here and look at the interior of our building. I'm just going to keep a quick eye on OBS to make sure it doesn't freak out. So, we have our interior here. We've there's just a couple of areas in the beginning here I need to fix up. Yeah, no, it was good, Canu. Like I said, I managed to watch a few movies. I wasn't working all weekend like I have been for the last 6 weeks, which is fine. Like I really love what I do. I love 3D. Yeah, and it's just that time of the year at the moment at the studio where it's really busy, so that's fine. I'll take a break at some stage and go into my cabin in the woods, like I said to you guys, and take a break from all technology for about a week. We'll see how that goes once things quieten down a bit more. But I hope your weekend was good, Canu. Yeah, we've only got a few bits and pieces left here to work on. We've got to. I want to bring in a mosaic tile for underneath of these doors here. We still have to work on this front room. Simply, I need to work out what I'm going to put in this bay window. And we were working on this large room here last week. Where are we? I'll just get into position here in the corner where we can see it. We were working on the floor, I think, at the end of last week. And what I've done since then is I've actually added physics to these hanging lights. So I'll turn real time on, but Unreal really, like I said, hates real time. But I'll switch it on briefly. It's just simulation mode here. If you notice our chandeliers are just slightly moving again in the wind and have a slight twist to them as they move. Again, I do this just on certain assets in the building to give the building a bit more life, so everything inside doesn't look completely still. Because we have our environment outside, which is all animating in the breeze, all of our trees and grass and things. But the interior can look a bit dead unless you have a couple of physics assets here and there that move. And it just gives the impression of a bit more realism, a bit more life to the building. And things like these hanging lights are a really good thing to turn into a physics object so that they can just slightly just sway in the breeze. Kanu says your weekend was good. You're just working on your diorama environment. Cool. You're doing that in Unreal, aren't you? And the assets that I saw you working on last week looked pretty cool. The texturing and work you'd done on the door was really nice. Just going to turn that off because I noticed OBS is dropping frames. OBS is fine with Unreal. If you're a streamer and you want to stream your Unreal stuff, OBS is fine with it, provided you don't turn real-time or simulation on, and then it has a bit of a problem. But like I said, when we come to do our final cinematic, I'm going to be setting up cameras, recording those cameras out to the hard drive, and then taking that footage into Adobe Premiere to compile it, just to put it all together, cut it together. Yeah, it's in UE4. I thought it was Canon. Yep. Cool. Well, remember, if you want to show any of your work while I'm streaming, please feel free to post an image or something. I love looking at the stuff you guys do, so if you are watching my stream and you've got a question or you've got some work you want me to look at, or you just want to show your work, please feel free to pop into chat and tell me. Do remember though, guys, if you're not a subscriber, don't post links in chat, in Twitch chat, because you will get timed out by Nightbot. I do have a server, a PhilDoes 3D server that is open to everyone. You don't have to be a sub to post links in that chat. You have to be a follower of my channel, Twitch channel, but you don't have to be a sub. So if you type !server in chat, you can join the PhilDoes 3D server and post links to your work in the general chat room there. If you are a subscriber though, you also have your own sub channel on the PhilDoes 3D server just for subscribers. So don't feel left out, subs. You've got your own thing on the PhilDoes 3D server as well. But subs can post links in chat. I just wanted to make that clear so that Nightbot doesn't time anyone out by mistake. I've had that happen before. And I feel bad for you guys when because Nightbot can be a bit rude too when it times people out. Some of the phrases that are built into it, yeah, can be a bit rude. Anyway. But yeah, I love looking at your work, so please feel free. But like I said, if you just want to watch the channel, then that's completely fine. You don't have to interact with me at all. So yes, we're going to continue working on our building here. Now, last week, if I jump back into Max and we load up the, I wanted to start doing a bit of work on a pedestal for that Art Deco lady lamp that we brought in last week. So this is a pedestal. Now, at the end of the stream last week, you saw this and it was just all grey, just white. And I just want to explain why I've done this, because I'm going to be taking this into Substance Painter to texture it up. So what I've done here is I've assigned a unique material ID to different parts of the model that I want to texture differently in Substance Painter. So if I jump into the material editor, these are just standard colors that I've assigned to the column, to different objects on the column. So this yellow one here is brass, and I've just called it pedestal brass. The orange is gold, so it's pedestal gold paint, and so on. So the red one will be wood, and the blue one is going to be like a black marble. So what I've done in Max here is it's all attached as one object, but I've just colored different parts of the model with the different colored textures before I export it as an FBX to bring it into Substance Painter. And that's just setting up a multi-material ID on the object so that when I bring it into Substance Painter, each material has its own texture layer. I'll show you what I mean by jumping into Substance. Kanu says he doesn't have much of an environment to show for now, but you'll link your art station. You have props that you did. Feel free to give your feedback. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, do that. Like I said, Kanu, you're a member of the PhilDoes 3D server, so post a link in general chat there if you want. Let me know too if you want me to look at it, if you're comfortable with me looking at it on stream to show everyone else, because some people don't like their work being broadcast to the world. And remember too, my videos go to YouTube after I've finished streaming, so it'll be on YouTube forever as well. So if you're not comfortable with everyone seeing your work and you want me to look at it off stream and not video it, let me know. and I won't. I'll look at it privately. But if you're happy for everyone to see it, let me know and I'll look at it on stream, show everyone. But yeah, no, feel free to post a link if you want me to check out any of your work. But like I said, if you're not a sub, do it on the Phil Does 3D server in general chat. So let's jump into substance here. Now I've imported the column and you'll see it looked all white. I've just assigned one texture here, just temporarily, well, just for the moment. So if we look over here, hopefully you can see it, yeah. Because we set up multi-material IDs, each part of the model now has its own material layer. And that'll just make it easier for us to texture up different parts of the model with unique textures. You're fine with it? Cool. Well, like I said, guys, I love looking at your work, so do feel free to pop into chat. Can you get the link for the server? Sure. Here we go. If we type !server, you are already a member, Kenu. I can see you on my list here. That's the server invite link, but you are already a member. So if you open up the Twitch desktop app and look for search for Phil Does 3D on there, you'll find the server. It's called Phil Does 3D. But yeah, that's on the Twitch desktop app, guys, too, not Discord. I don't use Discord. I use the Twitch desktop app, which used to be Curse, I believe, before Twitch purchased it and turned it into their own. But that's an invite link there for anyone watching the channel that does want to join the server. Feel free. It's open to all you guys to interact with me on, and that's simply because now that I have a sub button, only subs can post in Twitch chat. So I didn't want to exclude anyone, so that's why I created the Phil Does 3D server. It makes it a bit easier for you guys to post your work as well, because you don't need to upload it to Imager and then post a link. You can post the image directly in the general chat on the server. So yeah, it's a bit more convenient for both you and me. Alright, so yeah, we have our column here. I'm just going to start assigning general textures to it before we go in and start will we do it that way or we do it this way? Yeah. But before I go in and start actually distressing parts of it here and there to make it look a bit more worn. General chat, let's have a look here. Okay, this is Kenu's art station. I'm just going to copy the link and we'll have a look. Yeah, that's the whole reason I'm on Twitch, guys. It's not just to work on my own stuff, which is why I like interacting with you guys so much. I'm happy to look at any work, and it's one of the main reasons I'm on Twitch, is to encourage you guys to do 3D. That's my website, phildoes3d.com. If anyone is new and wants to know a bit more about me and what I do, you can check my website out. The links are also at the bottom of my Twitch channel there in the panels at the bottom to all my social media. Let's check out Kenu's art station. All right. This is a Viking sword. Very nice. I like the texture work you've done. Yeah, it is. It's very nice, actually. Really nice. Some really nice detail going on in here. Is this detail modeled into the sword, or is that a normal map? Just on the hilt here and the blade. I'm assuming the blade is probably a normal map. I'm just looking at this though, and that looks like more 3D geometry, but it could be a normal. But it's really nice. Yes, that's very nice. Really nice texture work. I like the wearing you were going on the edges of the hilt here. It's really important when you're texturing anything I think I'm losing my voice. Not to just make it one color, but to add some variation, as Kenu has here in the texture color. It's a similar thing we did for the floors that we're working on in the building. I'm going to jump back here and check that I'm looking at the right chat here. It's a normal map. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, well, it looks great. Really nice. Like I said, I really like the texturing work. Oh good, we got some close-ups here. And the skull is really cool too. Are you using Substance Painter to do your texturing, Kenu? Nice wear going on here. Yep, very nice. I really like these, when you're showing your portfolio, guys, to show some close-ups like this, because it really helps show anyone that you're applying for work for what your texture work is like. Showing them a distance shot like that is always, you have to do it, and it's a good thing to do, but doing these close-ups is really good as well, to show the detail that you get in your texture. And that looks very nice. Very cool. Oh, I see. He's got his maps down here with his color is normal, his occlusion, and so forth. Very nice. It was done with ZBrush and Substance Painter. Yep, cool. I use ZBrush as well. Not as much now. I used to use it a lot more when I worked in games development, but now that I work in AR.W.G, we don't have as much use for ZBrush. I still do use it occasionally, but not like I used to. It's used in film quite a bit, and it's used in games development all the time. The same with Substance Painter. I don't generally use Substance Painter in ARH-Viz. We use Mari more than anything. Same with film, and that's only because Mari, made by the Foundry, you can create really high resolution textures with Mari. And I believe Substance Painter is still limited to either 4 or 8K textures, which is just not big enough for film work. I'm sure Algorithmic will improve that over time. Substance Painter is designed more for games development than film work, although it is slowly being used in film, but Mari is still a preferred paint program for film. Again, really nice texturing work. Yeah, really nice. Modeling works very nice too, by the way. Yep, that looks great. Really nice. What is this ground texture you're using here? How did you... Is this again a Substance Paint? I'm just curious. It's a nice looking texture actually that you've got going on the ground. Yeah, even down to the detail work on the actual metal rail is really cool. Really cool. The renders are nice too, by the way. The only reason I ask about the ground simply is because it looks like photogrammetry a little bit. It may not be. It could be substance, but yeah. It sort of reminds me of photogrammetry. It's a mega scan by Quicksalt, yep, okay. Which is actually photogrammetry, by the way. When they call it the mega scans, are actually, they go out and they use photogrammetry to create their models. Which is actually what I specialise in at the studio I work at, because we do architectural AR.W.G work. We do a lot of period buildings, heritage work, and we use a lot of photogrammetry to do that. And that's basically why they hired me, because I specialise in photogrammetry. But the texturing work on this model, again, is very nice. Very nice. And the model as well is very nice. What do you want to do, Kenu, when you finish studying? I believe you said you were studying. I'm just curious as to what field you want to get into. Do you want to do games development? Are you getting into film? What would you like to do? What am I looking at here? What is this? I'm just going to go back for a sec to see what that object is. Oh, gas hand grenade. Okay. Yep, very cool. Again, outstanding texture work, really nice. Nicely done. Your presentation too is very nice. The way you present your models and your render is really nicely done too. Hey Sniper Echo, good to see you. We're just looking at some of Kanu's texturing and modeling work. And it's very impressive. He's done some really nice work. A good variety of models too. I can't really fault anything I've seen so far. It's all been outstanding. Are you almost finished and you want to get into environments for Game Up? Oh, that's right. I actually think you told me that before. My apologies. Environment modeling is what I used to do when I was in games development. I was an environment artist and a technical artist. I was sort of like a combination of both when I worked in games. And I was more of a film work, they don't really call it environment artists anymore. They sort of just call you a 3D artist. And Kanu says he's working on 2 environments and then he'll start applying. Okay, cool. Again, texture work is very nice. Substance can certainly make some nice textures for you. Well, you know, the artwork, the artist is still important behind it all, of course. I really, like I said, like this edge where you've got going on. It's really important to make sure that your edges are distressed, I guess is the best word. Particularly on something that's been worn and used quite a bit or is old. Now I know that in Substance Painter you can get that edge wear by using a generator or a filter. Which is fine if you want to go that route. I'd prefer to do it by hand personally. You can Sniper Echo. He's posted a link. I'll post a link to Kanu's art station in chat just a sec. Because Kanu can't post in Twitch chat, so I'll do that for him. That's Kanu's art station if anyone else wants to check it out. Yes, it's very nice work, but do remember guys, the Phil Does 3D server if you want to post a link there if you're not a sub. Is this the competition that Substance had for their character? I think I recognise the model. I know that Substance Painter had a competition where they wanted you to texture up this little character for them. I'm assuming that's what this work was for.
Are you ready?
Again, nice texturing work. And this is the emissive map. Yep. Very cool. Again, I'm just going to talk briefly about your portfolios because I get asked a lot on Twitch what's good to put in a portfolio and all that type of stuff. You can either take what I say or you can't, or you can ignore me. It's completely up to you guys. I have worked in 3D for more than 10 years though, and I've done games work, film work, and AR.WG work. I'm AR.WG now. Yep. I thought that the character looked familiar. I'm just looking at Kanu's portfolio now. Great texturing work. Really nice breakup of close-ups of the model textures as well as distance shots of the model. And more importantly, a really nice selection of different types of models. He's not filled it with cars, he's not filled it with guns. Now I know a lot of you guys like to model cars and you like to model guns, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't fill your portfolio up with that, because that's what everybody does, and an employer doesn't want to look at a portfolio full of 20 guns and 20 cars. Because 9 times out of 10, you're generally not going to be working on guns or cars for whatever studio you go to work for. You know, that may be a hard truth for some people to swallow, particularly people new to working in design in 3D or for a design studio. They get you working on all sorts of stuff. You can't pick what you want to work on generally. They'll tell you what you're going to be working on. They may try and give you a choice of a few things, but generally it's within a very narrow range. So it's really important in your portfolio that you give them a nice variety of different types of models. That way they can see your range, for lack of a better word, of the types of things you can design and do. And this is outstanding. He's got a sword, He's got the railway car, he's got the gas grenades, the this pinball machine thing here, arcade machine, and this little matte thing, which is a model from Substance Paint from Algorithmic that he's textured up, which is cool. Again, don't put too many things in your portfolio either, guys. Don't fill it up with like 100 images. I would suggest no more than 12, 14 max sort of thing. Don't do more than 14 images. 12 is better. Less is better if it's better quality. So like a portfolio with only 6 things in it that are really good quality is going to be picked over a portfolio that is of some things that are good and some things that aren't, that has like 30 images in it. That and the fact too that these people are really busy and they don't have time to look through all of the stuff. So if they see a portfolio that's just has 30 images in it, they're not going to pay much attention to each individual image. They're going to flick through them really quickly. They're going to be annoyed that you've sent them so many to begin with. They're not going to look at them properly because there's too many and they've got to look at so many people's work. So less is more, and a good variety of work in your portfolio. They're the 2 top tips I guess I can give you guys that are trying to find work in 3D. Make sure that the stuff you put in your portfolio is the best of your work. Don't put anything in that you think is only okay. Make sure that you think it's the best, and try and limit it to, I would say no more than 12 images. Yeah, and variety though. Variety is really important. So not all cars, not all guns. You can have a car and you can have a gun. Just don't put 30 guns and 20 cars in your portfolio. So, you know, everything's outstanding. I like the way you present your models. I like the texturing work. It's and the variety of different types of models. It's really nicely done. And I know you're working on your environment stuff at the moment, so that'll be good to include as well. But as an environment artist, you really got to show them environment work too. Asset work is important, but environment work, if that's what you want to do, is really important to show as well. And that Ken is working on that now, so that's cool. The only thing I would do is I would probably not put him in my portfolio, simply because even though the texture work is nice, don't get me wrong, the character is quite a well-known character because of the competition Algorithmic ran. So I wouldn't put him in to pad my portfolio, put it that way. If you've got other stuff like your environment stuff you can replace him with, I'd do that. But these others are great, really nice. No problems at all. That's my only questionable asset. Simply because what's going to happen is if you include him in your work, a studio might look at that and think, well, that asset has not been created by you, so how many of these other assets have not been created by you? It's going to put a question in their mind as to what work you did on these. Now, that could be fine if you break down the exact workflow you've done, like say, I only textured it, I modeled it and textured it, I modeled, textured and rendered it, that type of thing, then that's fine. But it still would raise questions in an employer's mind. So that's my only questionable part of the portfolio is this. And I'm not saying it's badly done, and I'm not saying, you know, anything like that. That it's just that when you get your environment stuff done, I'd replace him with the environment stuff. Yeah, please don't take that the wrong way, Kanu. I'm not suggesting anything at all. I'm just giving you my thought process, because I mentor junior artists at the studio as well. And I look at a lot of people's portfolio work, and I know how these people think when they're looking at your work. When an employer is looking at many portfolios to choose an employee that they're going to hire, they want to make sure that that the person that they're hiring doesn't raise any questions for them at all in their mind. And that would be my only concern with that character, simply because I know it's an algorithmic model. But everything else is wonderful. The texturing work is outstanding. Like I said, the variety of different types of models is outstanding. The composition and the presentation of the models is outstanding. Everything is wonderful. You know, A plus. It's all great. And like I said, when you start doing your environments that you're working on at the moment and you put them in, I don't think you'll have problem finding work. Because yeah, no, it's really nice work, really nice. And thank you very much for sharing it too, and allowing me to show it to everyone on stream. And do guys check out Kanu's art station, in the link in the chat. Well, I'm glad. Look, I'm always a bit hesitant with you guys to give you my opinions, simply because I don't want to discourage anyone from doing 3D, because like I said, that's why I'm on Twitch. I want you guys to do 3D. So I don't want to say anything that will discourage anyone from doing 3D. Now, and that goes for people showing their work. You don't have to be an outstanding texture artist like Kanu there, but I'm happy to look at everyone's work. So I don't feel that you need, if you want to show your work, that you've got to be really outstanding. That's not why I'm here. And I'm really hesitant sometimes to give negative feedback on work, because like I said, I don't want to discourage you from doing 3D. So yeah, I don't want anyone to take anything that I say, if I do say something that may be a little negative, to take that the wrong way. You're quite welcome, Kanu. I'm happy to give my feedback to everyone, and your work is wonderful. And like I said, I don't think you'll have problem finding work, because from what I've seen, it's outstanding. Your work is outstanding. Yeah, it is. His work is really nice, Sniper Echo. Sniper Echo does really nice work as well. He's working on an environment in UE4 at the moment as well. So, yeah, don't take anything I say the wrong way. And I do try and I am careful in what I say when I say it. So hopefully you guys don't take anything I say the wrong way. And it's just my opinion. I mean, you know, you can either listen to me or you don't have to. It's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't want to discourage anyone from doing 3D though. You don't have to, even if you don't want to do it for work. It's just a fun thing to do. You know, you make worlds that don't exist. That's what really excites me about 3D. You can create something that doesn't exist anywhere in the world, and never has, and it never will. Whether it's on this world or off this world or whatever. And that's what I love about 3D. And even though I'm not into animation, I'm not an animator. I have a lot of friends that do character animation. That's the thing that really excites me about that as well. The fact that they can bring this 3D model to life. That's just amazing to me. Amazing. Yeah, as Sniper Echo says, the variation in modeling in Kanu's portfolio is really important, because if you're looking for work in 3D, you want to make sure that whoever's looking at your portfolio and is thinking about hiring you, you want to give them as much confidence as possible that if they hire you, you're going to be capable and up to the challenge of doing the job. And showing them a lot of variety in the type of 3D models you have in your portfolio really helps them to have confidence in hiring you, that you're going to be able to model up whatever they need you to model up. And that's the problem with guys that fill their portfolio with guns and cars. Most times you're not going to be working on guns and cars. So they want to see that you can do other stuff too. So it's all about reassuring a future employer that you're as employable as possible. You're more employable than the next person, put it that way. And the best way to do that is to have a lot of variety in your portfolio, and don't fill it up with one type of thing, and don't overload them either with images. You know, it is important, because you're just going to annoy them, sending them too much, and also trying to stuff your portfolio with a lot of stuff. Most of it, some of it is not going to be very good quality, simply because you've worked on a lot of stuff, and 3D takes time. So trying to stuff your portfolio with a lot of work is not a good way to go. You're not going to impress them more than having fewer pieces of work, so long as the pieces you're showing them are the best stuff that you've made, in your opinion, or the opinion of your friends or whoever you're asking. Yeah. Like I said, you can either listen to me or you don't have to. It's your work, your portfolio. You guys do what you want. That's just my opinion from someone that's worked in the industry for a while, in a lot of different fields. So, yeah. take it with a grain of salt. It's up to you guys. That's just my 2 cents worth. I think what we'll do here is we're going to assign some different textures initially, and then I'm going to go through and start distressing bits and pieces. So I have my black marble material ID here. I'm going to assign the black marble. It's not actually black marble, but it looks like it. I'm just going to delete this top unused layer. We have the brass layer texture ID here, so I'm going to pull in the brass texture. I'm going to go with this less shiny brass, not the really shiny one, but the more distressed brass. And we'll delete the top layer. Sniper Echo says you're really trying to improve your texturing skills. Well, texturing is really important. Substance Painter is great for doing texturing work. Sniper Echo knows that I prefer to use Mari though, simply because I really like that hand-painted feel that I get from using Mari. And the only negative I found with Substance Painter is everyone's models can start looking a bit samey, simply because everyone uses the same generators and the same workflow to do their edge wear and stuff, and using a generator to do your edge wear, while it may be quick and easy and it produces nice results, everyone's work starts looking the same. You know, everyone has the same looking edge wear, that type of thing. Whereas Mari, I can get in there and do it by hand, and I really like that. You can do the same thing here in Substance, which is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be using a generator to do my edge wear, I'm going to be doing it by hand. It's funny, Sniper Echo. Sniper Echo says he uses Substance Designer, but everything he does looks kind of fake. Yeah, no, hand painting textures kind of is the way to go. And I noticed from your texturing work that because it is very nicely done and doesn't look like every other Substance model. I had a feeling you might probably went in there and did it by hand, and that's what I'm doing with this model as well. I'm not going to be using a generator to do my edge wear, I'm going to do it by hand. And I'm going to do that because it's going to give me a much more unique look to my model. It's not going to look like every other Substance painted model. Yeah, no, Sniper Echo says he's doing hand painted now and seeing better results. Yep, no, that's the trick to it all. People are impatient, and Algorithmic created generators to, like, they did it for a couple of reasons. They've done it to help people as much as possible to get that distressed look that they want on their model, and they've also done it to save studios time because studios want to push out their stuff as quickly as they possibly can, so they're going to want the model as soon as possible. No problem, Sniper. And then that's the reason Algorithmic created generators, I think. It's just to give... you can use a generator as your base and then go over it by hand. That's another good way to do it. But most studios nowadays don't tend to be doing that. They tend to be just throwing a generator on something, distressing it with a procedural generator, and using it, and that's why everything starts to look the same. Yeah, and a good example of that is if you look at a lot of games now with characters that have what do they call, armor, whether it's medieval armor or sci-fi armor, all the edge wear is all looking the same. Canu says his approach is usually how objects have wear, tear, and real life. Yeah, that's right. You've got to think about the object as being used. Where would it be bumped and scratched, and where would the wear happen? Yeah, that's the best way to think about edge wear. Yeah. So you wouldn't wear an object in a place that it's not likely to ever be touched. You'd only wear it on areas that will be bumped and knocked about or handled. That type of thing, you know, picked up, touched. And doing it by hand is the best way to go, because you'll get a unique looking texture, a unique looking model, more so than using a generator or a filter. The gold paint is on. Let's add the cherry wood. Now I'm using cherry wood because I want to keep consistency in my level if we jump into Unreal, all of the assets have been created using cherry wood. So all of these railings and things are all distressed using, are all cherry wood. So we're going to be using the same cherry wood, keep consistency. The same thing goes with the gold paint and the marble, black marble. I've used those on other parts of the of models in the level, and I'm doing that to keep consistency in the look of the of everything. So the gold paint, the black marble, the picture frames, the same thing, the gold paint, the black marble, as well as these columns here. They use cherry wood, gold paint, and black marble. So, yep, that's the reason I'm using those textures specifically, to keep a consistent look throughout that level. Because you don't want to go mixing and matching too many different textures in, let's use the building as an example, because that's what we're working on.